Do you need some energy to get through the day without relying on coffee? I got just the thing for you. It's called Neuro, and I'm partnering up with them for today's video. Neuro has gum and mints to energize, calm, and focus when you need it. They were developed by former athletes who were training at the highest level and simply didn't want to take any mysterious supplements or energy drinks when studying, training, or even going out. Instead of something sugary and ineffective, they wanted to create clean and balanced energy that could be taken anytime and anywhere. Their energy and focus formula is specially formulated with natural caffeine, theanine, and B vitamins to sustain the mental endurance necessary to maintain your focus. Their calm and clarity formula is expertly developed with GABA, vitamin D3, and L-theanine to optimize composure and clarity of mind. Their health and vitality formula is specially infused with life-enhancing, immune-boosting vitamins to help strengthen and support your body. What makes Neuro different? Neuro's gone through dozens of formulations, process, and tests to ensure that each gum and mint they make delivers on their promise of getting you in the right state at the right time. Unlike other heat-extruded gum and mints, Neuro's products are created using cold compression technology, which maintains each ingredient's bioavailability. Neuro is a clean boost of energy without the jitters of coffee or an energy drink. With so many challenges and demands, it can be really hard to stay focused, and Neuro does a great job of keeping you calm, cool, and collected. Stress, fatigue, lack of focus can all impact decision-making abilities. Recently, I had been feeling sluggish and have been distracted with everything going on in my life. These Neuro mints, however, have allowed me to stay on task and have stayed calm, cool, collected, as well as alert, and I've been able to change my approach and focus on the task at hand. Go to my sponsor link now down below, tryneurogum.com/JKB to enjoy energy, calm, and focus whenever you need it. All right, what is up, guys? How we doing? JE Live on a Saturday night. Q&A. We're back. And it has been quite the week. Went to back-to-back Paramore shows at MSG. Never had been to Madison Square Garden before, so that was a lot of fun. And, you know, we haven't been able to go live this week because we had that. Then I had to come back and, you know, take care of some things. And, you know, we did the Off the Edge episode 22, ranking the top 10 team offensive line units. And then we did a Believe in Rams episode that was long awaited and long overdue. So I figured it is time to go live and it is time to do a Q&A. I understand that there are people that like just straight up topics, and that's great. But Q&As are also great because sometimes we find the perfect topic just right from doing the Q&A. So welcome in those of you who are new here. Appreciate you being here. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. We are rolling. Just a lot of, you know, success, I would say, just, you know, since the draft, during the draft. So I think really the goal that I set out for 20,000 by the beginning of the NFL season, I think is definitely intact. Right now we're at 18.4K. So, you know, 1.6 away, but, you know, a lot of fun doing this, and appreciate those of you who are liking all the content as well, not just NFL, not just Rams, but I put out the video at Paramore night 2 at MSG. She brought on Lil Uzi Vert. Now, I admittedly have never listened to him. I don't really know too much about him. Seems like a genuine guy and had a great time getting up on stage. It was like 7 years in the making because he's been begging Haley Williams and company to do you know, a collaboration, and so he was able to do that. I also put up a video, you know, my time seeing Foo Fighters a week ago. So it's been a lot of concerts so far, 3 in the last 2 weeks. So a lot of fun. I'm going to Avenged Sevenfold at MSG soon. So, you know, that's going to be cool. that'll be Avenged Sevenfold, Falling in Reverse, and Living Color. So looking forward to that. Yes, sir, some Jake content. You got it, Young and Isaac, although I don't know why your comment isn't coming up, because I'm intending on highlighting all of these comments. That is the point of the Q&A. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. What's up, Exotic? How's it going, Willie? Who will be Tyler Higbee, the backup to Tyler Higbee at tight end? I believe it's going to be Bryson Hopkins. I have no reason to think he won't be. Not much, Exotic. Just, happy to be live. Earlier today, I don't know how many of you play Pokemon Go, but earlier today, there was a nice little event. It's 3 hours long, and, got out, got some sun. Also, it was a little colder than I expected. I think when I walked out wearing a tank top, I felt like an idiot because it was a little cold. It was pretty breezy, but had a blast doing it. I'm really enjoying the, just the events that Pokemon Go and Niantic has put out. I have, my thoughts about Niantic, but it's been a lot of fun. And if you guys haven't ever, given it a shot, I recommend it. Gets you outside, gets you active, rewards you for your activity. It's a lot of fun. And it's a lot of fun when you have players. Like, I was able to play that in New York City. I will say, if you've never played that in a big city, you are missing out. Wow. That is like a different game in New York City. But anyway, it is going well. Let's go. I finally get to catch a stream. Welcome, Brocca Flower. Yes, you do. Because we will be streaming for at least an hour and maybe beyond that. And we might even have a little bit of a gaming stream afterwards. So we'll see what ends up happening there. Been a while since I could be a part of these live chats. Well, welcome, Mitch. Glad you are here. Another day, another JE live. We're trying. Alex, how we doing? Saw a vid, that a-hole who was pushing his way through the crowd at the concert. Haley called him out. All I could think was, dude is lucky Jake wasn't down, would have been handled. Yeah. So I have a little bit of a temper. I've definitely have to hold it back at those concerts, but yeah, she very much was not pleased with that. She called out, those guys, and she used some choice words, cursed words, if you will. So it was a great time, though. Haley is one of the best performers. If you've never seen Haley Williams of Paramore live, she's one of the best performers, one of the best front men, women I've ever seen. I mean, she just puts on a show. She's got great stage presence. It's great. So highly recommend it. If you have not seen Paramore, I saw them twice this week, my second and third time seeing them all time. I saw them once with Fall Out Boy. Fun band, a lot of fun. They made me dance a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Normally I'm not into the dancing and whatnot, because they have a little bit of what you would call dance music over the last couple albums, but their latest one is really good. So I would definitely check that out if you haven't already. Do you think Puka steals the number 3 job, or does Tutu and Sko ramp it up in training camp? Yeah, I don't see Puka Nacua stealing anything. I think he's going to be the wide receiver 5 this year, and then maybe down the road he becomes a starter, but I'm tempering my expectations with Puka Nacua. I think what you're looking at is it's Cooper Kupp, it's Van Jefferson, and then, you get into the Tutu Atwell that can take the top off the defense. It kind of gives you a little bit more juice, more energy, more of a gadget type. And there's a negative connotation when you say a gadget player. I feel like he's more than a gadget player. Whereas Skoranek is a pseudo fullback, can play tight end, can play wide receiver, can go up and high point the football, can play on the boundary, different type of receiver than Atwell. And then you have Tyler Johnson, who I think is going to be like a Jason Avant for this offense, a guy that you bring in on third down. He's going to be able to hang on to that football over the middle. He'll get hit maybe pretty hard, but he'll hold on and it'll be all great. So I like those guys as your top guys. Then you're looking at Puka Nacua after that. I don't think he's going to start over any of those guys. No, I don't. Jake would have WWE speared him. Where did this aggression come from? How did you guys know that I lose my shit at concerts when people are going crazy? I haven't been open about it, I don't think. And lose your shit, I guess, is a little bit unfair for me to say. But no, I've had instances where I've watched a girl get socked in the face. No, I had no relation to her or knew anything about her, but you just see like, a younger girl get punched in the face by some moron trying to mosh, and you get a little pissed off and you do some things. And look, like, I'm not saying fighting is a great thing, and I haven't had any of those instances in a while, but I will say, if I'm at a concert enjoying myself and I see a 13-year-old girl get pinned against the gate at a Foo Fighters concert because, we have somebody who just doesn't get that it's not Lamb of God and it's dad rock, I'm going to say something, and I did at that Foo Fighters concert, but did not put my hands on anybody. I was just, I left it at that. But anyway, I think that stuff really bothers me. So, the whole Hayley Williams thing, I think mosh pits look incredibly stupid. If you do it, to each their own, but I think they look incredibly dumb. If I'm going to enjoy a concert, maybe I, move around a little bit, play air guitar, drum on my, chest a little bit, sing at the top of my lungs, scream, depending on what kind of music we're talking, maybe even dance a little bit, like if, some of the newer Paramore, right? But I do not mosh, and I don't think these people understand moshing, because you see all this like this and this and this, and it's like you're punching, like you're just straight up punching people, and that shit just bothers me. So, that I cannot stand that type of stuff. Nuggets or Heat, Jake? I'm gonna take the Nuggets here. If the Heat come back, I won't be shocked, but I kind of feel like the Nuggets are about to just roll at this point. My thoughts on Across the Spider-Verse, I did get to see that as soon as I got back from the show. The next day I was able to see that, and wow, great movie. Feels like it has the opportunity to end up being like an Infinity War to the end game. We need Beyond the Spider-Verse in order for me to tell you exactly how I feel about it, but I feel like it's one of those movies where it's going to get better once it has the next movie out. And a good example of this is if you guys are horror fans and you see the Michael Myers mask in the background, Halloween Kills. I thought Halloween Kills was the best in that trilogy, the new trilogy, and I felt like Halloween Ends was probably the worst. But Halloween Ends, having that conclusion adds value to Halloween Kills. I feel like the third movie in a trilogy adds value to the second movie. The second movie, more often than not, is a cliffhanger, and it's not really much of a spoiler because it's already out there. Yes, Across the Spider-Verse is a big freaking cliffhanger. So we'll have to wait and see about Beyond, but I really like what I'm seeing in regards to, what they've done with this trilogy so far through the first two, the first two movies. I really like what we've seen out of Haley Steinfeld and Shameik Moore, Jake Johnson, really, really like what I've seen. And I thought, just when you see people that don't quite appreciate the animated side of things, I don't think people understand how difficult it is to create something like Across the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse. We haven't even seen it yet, but Beyond the Spider-Verse. That type of animation art style, it is just ridiculous. Like, it is really hard to create something like that. And I just, I tip my imaginary cap to those people, because I don't know how the hell they do it. I can only draw stick figures, and these people are designing giant worlds and Spider-Verses and all that. All the props to them, because I certainly can't do that. I'm a man of my word with my transparency here. I can only draw stick figures, so I don't know how they do it, but man, it is really cool. It is really exciting. I'm very much looking forward to any Spider-Man movie, any Spider-Man project. I cannot wait for the PS5 video game. I can't wait for Spider-Man 4, which we're finally starting to hear a little bit about with Tobey Maguire. Not Tobey Maguire. My God, I can't believe I called him that. Tom Holland. So Tom Holland is going to be in the project, The Crowded Room. That's coming out on Apple TV Plus. I will be watching that. the meme we will be watching. Apple TV Plus, Crowded Room, features Tom Holland, who actually it's his first producing role as well with his acting. So at one of the, I think it was the premiere or a press tour or whatever, he was interviewed and was asked about the whole Spider-Man thing. And he said, pretty much as long as he could do it justice to the IP, he's going to continue to be Spider-Man. So I really believe that when, Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal and all that news came out that, look, we're going to get 3 Spider-Man movies, 4, 5, and 6 in this Tom Holland trilogy. We're going to get another trilogy. I think we're going to get that. I think there's a chance we get another trilogy. I think this might be a 9-movie set. I'm not saying it will. I'm not saying it's guaranteed. But if they make it 9 movies, I definitely think we'll get Miles Morales sooner than later. And it might not all be Tom Holland. He might not be the front runner of it. But I don't know. I think it's really interesting. And also, we don't know what's going to happen with the next 2 Avengers movies because we haven't even seen the 4th one. And the 5th one is supposedly, it's going to be Secret Wars, which could be anything. It could completely change the landscape of the MCU forever. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, the writer's strike. And I want to talk about this before I answer any more questions, which will be in just a second. Here is my opinion on the writer's strike. I support it. Does it suck that we are going to go into what is going to be a void of content? We are going to have a void. There's going to be maybe 2024, 2025, where we have some very insufficient number of content. And what I will say to that is good, because it sucks. I don't like it to that extent, but it's absolutely BS. I'm not siding with the rich actors and actresses because it's not affecting them. I'm siding with the people that are just everyday people that work their ass off to become writers and producers in Hollywood and work in these, with these giant studios. And now all of a sudden these studios are starting to use AI. And it's not the Chat GPT like you and I might be thinking when we hear AI. No. It's way more powerful than that. And so it poses a legitimate threat to that industry and to those workers. And that is why, for those of you who haven't been paying attention or didn't know about it, that is why they're striking, because that AI definitely poses a threat, because now this is how people see it. The big wigs in those studios are like, well, we don't have to pay this writer and this writer. We can just use AI and we'll spend, we'll save money. Right. And now we have full creative control and we don't have to argue with a human because we have the AI, and the AI can program and create a script and create, just write a show or a movie without having to butt heads with another creative mind. And that's BS. OK, AI, there's some cool things about it, but overall it poses a legitimate threat. And now I'm not talking about just straight up automation. I'm talking about things like when you're saying AI could wipe out an entire industry, that becomes a dangerous thing. And so the Writers Guild strike, I totally support it. Totally support it. It sucks. I wish it wasn't the case, but they're right. They're absolutely right. They're the good guys in this, and the greedy studios are the bad guys. So, yeah, because of that, be aware 2024, 2025, we're going to have a content void. We might not have as much content as we were going to get, and that's okay, right? We'll live. But, this is to save an industry, because if the industry does not, take a stand, and this is why those actors and, these big, like Feige's of the world and Pascal's of the world are also in solidarity with these people, because you need that, because if you don't, to do that. So, all in all, that's my take on that. There's a lot of exciting things. There's also going to be a little bit of a bump in the road, and I think we just have to really deal with it and just know that, there's a reason for it. But anyway, answering your questions. Also, what are your thoughts on the current state of the MCU? I like the direction they're going in. I also don't know the direction they're going in to a degree. What I know of, I like. But I don't know what's going on. Are they going to recast Kang? Could they get rid of Kang? Could they have a new bad? I don't know what they're going to do. truly. So based on what I know, I like. We'll see if it continues on. But we did just get 2 really good comic book movies in 2 months. We got Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is fantastic. And we just got Across the SpiderVerse, which is also fantastic and you should check out. One's live action, one's animated. But I will say, there's the common misconception is that when you get older, animation is pointless. It's for kids. That's all it's for. But I would make the argument that I've actually grown more open to animation as I've gotten older. And the reason being is because I realized, as a kid, you take it for granted. Oh, it's animation. It's just for kids. But when you're an adult, you realize, okay, there was a lot of manpower, a lot of hours that were put into that to make that animation, to make that look as crisp as it did. And so, I just think it's something that it adds more value to it. And that's why I respect it more as an adult. Hey, Jake, how's it going? Are you going to any Taylor Swift concerts this summer? Hey, Rob, it's going well, and I'm not planning on going to any Taylor Swift concerts. I think she's very talented, but it's not really my music. And the concerts, like the tickets are crazy. It seems like it's really hard to get Taylor Swift tickets because there's all sorts of scalpers and whatnot. There's always something going on. So, even with my own favorite bands, I have issues. So I would probably pass on Taylor Swift. I'm seeing Avenged Sevenfold with Falling in Reverse and Living Color. That's on my list. That's later on this year, later on this month. At Madison Square Garden in New York City. And then in August, I believe. Yeah, I think it's August. I'm seeing Fall Out Boy with Bring Me the Horizon. So those are my next shows. Saw Off the Edge episode. Really liked the list you guys had. Thank you, Exotic. I appreciate that. Yeah, I was really excited to do the offensive line. I just there are a lot of good offensive lines in this league that don't get enough credit. And I think one of those is the Chicago Bears. I mean, when you look at their offensive line, young guys, Braxton, Jones, I really like him. I really like him, and I really like going out and getting Darnell Wright. And I thought Tevin Jenkins played a whale of a season at guard. So he's exciting, and they held on to him. He's a guy I wanted the Rams to go after. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, and we're doing defensive line next week. There's a vid on YouTube somewhere of Haley's isolated vocals while recording Still Into You, and it's amazing. She's an incredible singer. Yes, she is. And it's funny. There's this one song, when I first heard it, I was like, this is next level. Like, Haley has, she's on another level. But All I Wanted, I that song, they played that live the second night of the tour, and that song was phenomenal. All I Wanted, she hits another level of high note, and it is just crazy. It's just absolutely nuts. So I think if you haven't heard that song, that's crazy. I love the song Decode. That was in Twilight. Love Misery Business, and the new song off the record, Figure Eight. Highly recommend that. That is a fascinating song. What position Lance McCutcheon is going to play? Wide receiver, but I don't think he's going to make the roster. I think he'll be a practice squad guy. He's going to have to play special teams. I mean, that's really, how I see it. But who do you think will be a surprise breakout player in the secondary? I mean, I don't know if it's much of a surprise, but Jacoby Durant, I would say. Yeah. Damn, that took a darker turn. Girl getting socked in the face. Yeah, I know. It's not funny at all. Like, I know what you're saying. It makes me upset, and so that's why, I said something and did something. That's pretty much, yeah, I don't know. I feel like people that mosh, they just get into the rhythm where they're like, what, I just want to punch people in the face and get away with it and just have an excuse. And yeah. And maybe not everybody, but it's kind of funny watching you can see how stupid some people look. And again, not all people that mosh look stupid, but most do. Of the UDFAs fighting for spots this season, who's your favorite of the bunch? I like Tyon Evans and Tamarcus Davis. Those are some guys that stood out. That's what I'll say there. I enjoy watching a good mosh, but the music needs to be appropriate. I feel like it's kind of reserved for heavier metal. Yes, but actually participating in one, no thanks. Well, and that's the thing. Like, when you have, like, no offense to Foo Fighters fans, because I love the Foo Fighters, but, like, Foo Fighters are dad rock, and that's not a bad thing. It's not negative. It's not meant to be negative, but they're dad rock, right? You bring your kids, it's a family rock band, okay? And when you see people like moshing to Foo Fighters, you see people moshing at Paramore. I don't know, man. I've seen moshing. Like I've seen Avenged Sevenfold. I'm going to see them again. I've seen Ice Nine Kills multiple times. Like I've seen metalcore bands. I've seen I Prevail. I've seen Periphery. But I don't know. The moshing stuff annoys me beyond belief. It really was. The Spider-Man movie was great. Confirmed a lot. It did. I don't know if we're gonna get. I don't know if we're gonna get the live action, but I'm hoping that would be really cool. Yes, Steve Avila is 100% starting. Mm-hmm. That's the hope. That's also true. I agree. I'm just hoping that we find out that the SpiderVerse movies were all MCU. That'd be really cool if it connected the MCU. Thank you, HD. Yeah, Josh Pascal out of Kentucky really is forgotten, isn't he? He's the guy I really liked in the draft. I wanted the Rams to get him, last year or 2 years ago or whatever, and I think he's somebody I'm not out on. I don't know what's going to happen with him, but I think that, I think you're right. He is the forgotten man. I'm very, curious to see what ends up happening with him. And now, for those of you who are probably like, Jake, why are you live right now when your Vegas Knights are playing in the Stanley Cup? I do have the Stanley Cup right down here. I am watching while I stream. I mean, it's only fair to my team that, of course, I support them. And Marchessault had a great goal at the end of the first period, so it's tied 1-1 right now in the second period. This is game one of the series. I saw them first year. I jumped on the bandwagon of them. They didn't exist, by the way. They were a brand new expansion team. They went to the Stanley Cup and lost to, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was the Capitals. I do think it was the Capitals, and now they're back and. Man, I hope they pull it off. I think they got a great team. They're better than I expected. I'll be honest with you. I didn't expect them to get this far. And just the way they've played, they've been so good. The goaltending has been incredible for a guy in Aiden Hill who just, he was the third, fourth string goalie. I mean, he wasn't supposed to be in this position. He wasn't supposed to have to start every game, but he is, and not complaining, and he's putting up numbers. So, hopefully we end up seeing a Vegas Knights win. I know some of you would not want that. That's fair. But he had a huge save that I can't even believe. Stick save. Diving and everything. How do you feel about all the coaches the Rams got? I know you and Cam were talking about some of them in the Believe episode. The new ones, I feel great about Dante Dion. He's a smaller corner that, played the slot. He can also play on the outside, and he's going to get a chance to coach up a guy in Travis Hodges-Tomlinson who's kind of built very similar to him. So that's some good stuff there. And then Darren Bates, I think this guy has a chance to be a special teams coordinator in the league. I mean, he was a great special teamer, comes from the Coach Bones, special teams unit. He leaves, I believe, in 2015 with the Rams. He goes to the Titans, and he's got a nice podcast that, as Cam brought up on the show, he helped start. So, yeah, I like those two guys. Corey Liuget, a former defensive lineman, played for the Chargers a few years, for 8 years rather. He's also on that coaching list. So a lot of interesting coaches, guys. We'll see what ends up happening, but the coaching fellowship, it's supposed to turn into, eventually you become a coach, down the road. So yeah, Disney animation has been sloppy lately. Boring CGI. Yeah, I like the new coaches, Edwin. I feel good about them. They do. And I'll tell you right now, the Paramore crowd, night one was really good. One of the most electric crowds I've been around. And then night two blew it out of the water. Being in back-to-back shows and seeing the difference. I mean, man, it was crazy. Night two of Paramore at Madison Square Garden was one of the rowdiest crowds I've ever seen. It was electric. The excitement was palpable. As I think, was it Michael Cole used to say, WWE announcer. I get it, man. I get it. I have nothing against it, but I don't want to smell like it. No, I get it. And again, I think it's really just at those shows. You're fine. Like, so we have an amphitheater, the Saratoga Performing Arts Center, by where I live, and it's about 20-25 minutes away. And SPAC, it's called SPAC, and SPAC is great like if you're inside of the pavilion, right? So like you're underneath and you got a seat, it's great. But if you're on the lawn, it's as good as your best friend's garage. Now I'm not saying everyone's best friend is a huge pothead or anything like that, but yeah, the lawn, if you're not a fan of that, which like I don't partake in it, I don't judge. It's just more so like the smell. I'm not like a big fan of the smell. The lawn is not the place to be. And since it's an amphitheater, there is a lawn. And if you want to get tickets, sometimes you got to just deal with the lawn. And yeah, exactly. DreamWorks and Paramount are using similar animation from SpiderVerse. I like it. Because he doesn't want to play for the Rams. He wants to win a Super Bowl. So, hey now. I need Cam to be my guy. He needs to be my co-host. We do 2 shows together. But no, I think Cam would be a good coach if he wanted it. I've seen Across the Spider-Verse yet. I haven't seen Across the Spider-Verse yet. Good God, I can't even talk. But Lord and Miller need to be involved in the MCU. Who's Lord and Miller? Am I stupid? Am I like, what am I missing here, Nolan? Are they the people behind it? Am I just blanking? Okay. The producer of Spider-Verse. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I thought, but I was like, wait, am I missing something here? Because I thought it was Shamik Moore and Haley Steinfeld as the, I will say Daniel Kalua did a fantastic job as Spider-Punk. He was awesome in that. So shout out to him. That performance was great. You'll see. I mean, I'm not really spoiling anything, but because all the Spider-Men are like in it, but oh man, how we all hanging in there? It's a little dead tonight. It's a little dead. I think, honestly, if you ask me, it's probably hurting my viewership putting Saturday night Q&A instead of just something Rams. Like, that's what I found, is that I could change the title and I could change the thumbnail and I could just put a Ram and make the title something Rams related. But I've gotten to the point where I want to do more than that. And we have multiple Rams podcasts on the channel, and I already talk about football. So that's why I love these Q&As, because I'll talk about whatever. As long as it's appropriate, I'll talk about whatever. So, I that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I know that probably hurts the viewership, but I don't really care. The people who are complaining about me putting out music video. Well, hey, the latest video I put out, the latest Paramore video I put out, got more views than any Rams video I've put out in the last 4 months. So I'm just saying, but entitle it New Coaches Q&A to get the viewers. I could do that. Saturday night Q&A. Do I want to do it though? I don't know. Yeah, Nolan. So I had people unsubscribe. I even got DMs from people saying I shouldn't be posting Foo Fighters and Paramore content on the channel because this is a football channel and mainly a Rams channel, and I should only be posting shorts that are Rams content. And my thing is, Jake Ellenbogen is the name of the channel. It's not Rams. It's not the LA Rams Corner. It's Jake Ellenbogen. So, that's it is what it is. I get kind of sour because it's like, all right, so you're going to, moan and complain about, me posting Paramore or Foo Fighters, but it's like the views are higher on those videos than they were for any of the other videos. I don't remember the last time I had 10,000 views on a Rams video. I post them. They get good views, but they don't get 10,000 like that. I'm just saying, so I don't know. Again, if I haven't made it clear, this channel will be posting, whatever, right? We got podcasts already scheduled on the show, on the channel, and other stuff, but yeah. You don't want to clickbait people into watching either, though. Being upfront is the way to go. I agree. Yeah, that's just kind of where we're at right now, is that there are people that don't want me to transition away from the Rams or football. And I don't know. I mean, I'd do what I want. If you don't like it, that's totally fine. I mean, I'm sure I have other videos that you'd like, but JE Live isn't supposed to be just one thing. And I think that's the problem, is that JE Live became just another Rams show, and I already have two. So it became overkill. So what I do is Q&A is I'll answer Rams questions, but making it all about one topic, I think, is just a disservice to what JE Live is supposed to be. So, that does not mean I won't do live streams after games and whatnot. So, and exactly, it's the off season during the most dead period of the off season. I mean, people will be like, well, Jake, why aren't you covering OTAs? What is there to cover, my guy? You're seeing what I'm seeing. I mean, there's social media posts on about the OTAs. It's like OTAs don't mean anything. Yes. There we go. Shea Theodore with the goal, and Vegas just took a 2-1 lead. That's awesome. He just sniped that. I don't know if you guys are watching the Stanley Cup final, but damn, that was freaking nuts. Almost from the blue line. No, not quite. He was almost in the slot at that point. That was filthy, though. Was that unassisted? Did they give him an unassisted one? I think that... Okay, Hockey assists are funny. They gave Braden McNabb the assist. He passed it, and then like Shea Theodore did all sorts of deking and whatnot, and it was still an assisted goal. That's funny to me. Yeah, so that's the thing. So when I got those DMs, I started posting more. I wasn't even going to post the Paramore show, and I was like, you know what? You just inspired me to do that. And I post the one where Lil Uzi Vert goes on stage, and sure enough, it gets 10,000 views. So it's like, all right. Favorite underrated hero / anti-hero not from DC and Marvel? Oh, man. I would probably say, although maybe it's a little bit, it's tough. I mean, it depends on how people view him, but I'd say the greatest anti-hero, the most underrated anti-hero of all media, of any TV or movie, is Vegeta, right? Who would disagree with me that it is Vegeta, the Prince of All Saiyans from Dragon Ball? Right? I mean, it's got to be Vegeta. That has to be the answer to that question. If it's not from a comic book, and even if it is, I think the best anti-hero is Vegeta. Who's better than Vegeta? And Vegeta's arc is just insane. For those of you who've ever watched it, like what he goes through, how he goes from being a villain to he becomes a redeemable human. I think it's definitely him. And some would say he's better than I don't think he's better than Goku, but he's a fantastic character. I love Vegeta. Get that out of there. All right, good. Good God. They had in the offensive zone, and I was definitely panicking there. I thought they were going to give up that goal. Hey, Jack. I do not. The only combat sport I'd ever get into is boxing religiously, and I just think this is the worst era of boxing. I know I get a lot of flack for saying that, but I watch older boxing matches and whatnot, and I do not like the way boxing is right now. I don't like this Jake Paul, versus insert content creator here. I mean, at that point, should I fight Jake Paul at this point? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, Spawn is solid. Was the movie any good? I never saw it. I heard it was good, though. Any good horror movie this month? So I don't know. Man, I lost track of my thought. I don't know if I've already told you guys, but I did see Evil Dead Rise. I had the greatest freaking title card I've ever seen in the history of movies. That title card, anyone that saw Evil Dead Rise, that title card was sick. The graphics on that were sick. But yeah, Evil Dead Rise. Really, really fascinating. It's like the idea of it being in kind of a closed off, like crammed environment, like a horror movie without, like, I don't know, man. It was interesting. Is it a top movie I've seen this year? No. I think it was good, but I think that there are other movies that I liked. Personally, it's not my favorite horror movie this year. It was unsettling, and it did the job of like, man, that horror movie, like, that was nuts. But no, I would say the better horror movie was Scream 6. Because Scream 6, to me, I could not get enough of. I've seen it twice. I loved the twists. I love Sam Carpenter, the character played by Melissa Barrera. I think she is the new top-notch Scream queen in the genre. And that's saying a lot because you're sharing the spotlight with the biggest actress come up, I would say, in a long time in Jenna Ortega. Jenna Ortega is flying up those boards. Like if you're looking at like the power rankings or like a stock, a stock chart for actors and actresses, Jenna Ortega is right up there. She is on fire. She is going crazy. But I gotta say, Melissa Barrera is underrated. I think Sam Carpenter, her character in Scream 6, is the best Scream Queen of the 21st century. And not 21st century, but like, since the 2020s, I would say, or the 2010s. I think that's fair. So, yeah, I mean, if you're looking for horror movies, I'm going to probably at some point, I want to watch Infinity Pool. Not a horror movie, but I want to watch Plane with Gerard Butler. Looks really good. Mike Coulter's in it as well. So Mike Coulter, Gerard Butler, gotta love that. I mean, you're getting, Gerard Butler, and of course you're getting, Mr. Luke Cage. So that Infinity Pool with Mia Goth and Alexander Skarsgård, that's a horror film. What the hell? What's the horror film that takes place in that jail? Anyone see that? Like, the main character is a female cop. It looks like ridiculous. Like, it looks super demonic, and I forget what it is. I gotta look. Horror movies 2023. I'm sure it'll be one of the first ones that shows up. Let's see. Not Night Shift. No. It's Malum. A rookie police officer willingly takes the last shift at a newly decommissioned police station in an attempt to uncover the mysterious connection between, and it cuts off, her father's death and a vicious cult. Bro, like, this looks freaking nuts. Malum. And it's weird because IMDb rates it a 5.3 out of 10, which is bad. And then 67% of users like this movie on Google. It got a 4 out of 5 stars audience reviews on Google. And Rotten Tomatoes gave this an 84%, and audience gave it a 61%. Now, Rotten Tomatoes normally rips horror movies. They rip gory horror movies, and they absolutely tear horror movies that involve demons and and cults to shreds. But here we are, 84% tomato meter. I can't even say the word. So yeah, Malum is interesting. It's definitely one that I'm taking a look at some point. Malum, Infinity Pool, right? So I mean, those are some horror movies. The Boogeyman looks good. It's got Sophie Thatcher. She was great in Yellow Jackets, if you guys haven't seen that. They say Renfield is a horror movie. That doesn't look like a horror. That looks like, I don't know, maybe a comedy horror, but it doesn't look like a horror movie. I don't know. Cocaine Bear I still need to see. I don't know if that's going to be any good. I've heard it's really good. I've heard it's not good. So I have all sorts of thoughts about that. Yeah, Infinity Pool looks weird, and so I want to see it. Man, what's The Blackening? I've been hearing about that. Is The Blackening a spoof? Is it a black horror movie spoof, or is it a real horror movie? Oh, it's a comedy? Okay, cool. Yeah, so I wasn't sure. But now I know. Okay, cool. Yeah, some of these are weird, and man, you got to be careful about some of these independent films, like the IFC films, that they can get really weird. Nefarious, like this got a 33% on Rotten Tomatoes. But then audience rating is 4.7 out of 5. So I don't know. No, it doesn't. You're right there. It does not. I don't know what we're going to do there. I'm going to see it eventually. I'm looking at some of these, like the Nutcracker Massacre. What? Follows a novelist who visits her family for Christmas, finds a mysterious Nutcracker doll, which soon becomes possessed and wreaks havoc. I mean, you guys asked me for recommended horror films, and I'm even mentioning Nutcracker Massacre is funny in itself. That's from 2022, though, and it sounds hilarious. They're running out of ideas, man. A24 they're pretty good. I mean, I'm a Blumhouse guy at the end of the day. I mean, most of Blumhouse just does not fail. There's some that are just like, but like, for instance, The Black Phone. Oh my God, The Black Phone was amazing last year. I absolutely loved The Black Phone. Rotten Tomatoes ranks all Blumhouse horror movies. Number 1 was Get Out. Number 2 is Megan. I need to see Megan. Did anybody see that? I know Alexis saw that. Number 3 is Cam, which is a smart and suspenseful techno thriller that's far more than some of its salacious parts, and an outstanding showcase for Madeline Brewer in the leading role. Interesting. Hush looks... So I saw Hush, and it was directed by Mike Flanagan, and Kate Siegel is actually the main character in that. That was gnarly, man. That was gnarly. So she's like deaf, and this dude is walking around in this creepy ass like white mask with like the eyes gouged out. Yeah, it's a creepy. It's a good movie. Like it's really well done. They do a nice job, like elements in there and things along that nature. Like she's deaf, so they kind of make you feel like you're her essentially. So it's cool the way they do it. The Invisible Man, that was another really good film. I'm not a big Elizabeth Moss fan. I just have never been, but The Invisible Man was good. It's based on the 30s film that I actually saw, which I actually liked. By the way, fun fact, the 30s film created this effect that could make you invisible, appear invisible on the big screen. And it was way ahead of its time. The technology they used in that 1930s, I forget what, 37 or 38 or whatever, the 1930s Invisible Man film was just beyond its years. If you look at it, it's like somebody time traveled and found a way to make it. Because, I mean, it's not the 1930s. It shouldn't look as good as it did. Sweetheart is about a shipwrecked survivor on an uninhabited island must fend off a malevolent force. Yeah, that sounds about right. Let's see. The Vigil. Ancient Jewish lore and demonology. The Vigil is a supernatural horror film. So that's number 7. The Nanny is number 8. Soft and Quiet is 9. Black Phone is 10. Okay, Freaky was awesome. That's cool. I like that. I don't know if anyone saw Freaky. It had Vince Vaughn, Catherine Newton, who is the new Stature, and basically she plays Cassie Lang now. So she was the recast. But yeah, Freaky is a really good horror film. It's like basically Freaky Friday, but it's a horror film. I love it. I've seen it a few times. Halloween 2018 is ranked 14th. That's insane to me. The fact that Ouija, the origin of evil, is rated higher is crazy in itself. I've never seen Split. I heard it's great. It's got James McAvoy, Haley Lou Richardson from White Lotus, And of course, Anya Taylor-Joy. The Bay, Oculus, Black Box, Creep 2, Torn Hearts, The Deep House, Happy Death Day. Oh my God. Happy Death Day, man. 23rd and 24th, Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day 2. That is such a joke. That is one of my favorite horror movies, believe it or not. I love that film. I love Happy Death Day. Yup, that sounds about right. It did well enough, but whatever. It was so good. Really enjoyed it. Isaiah, 2021, 2022 Rams roster, current Rams roster. So last year's roster, this year's roster, if healthy, last year's roster, no doubt. I've never been an Insidious fan. Number 29 was Insidious. Bingo Hell. The Visit was just weird. I thought The Purge Anarchy was good. I don't know why it's number 42 on this list. The first Purge was also good. Number 46. No idea why. Ma was weird. Purge Election Year was very good. 47. Belko Experiment was awful. I did not like that movie. It just basically was like torture porn, like glorified, you guys know how it is. Like, if you guys saw it, it was just about like workers just killing each other and like blowing each other to smithereens. Not really a fan of that. The Forever Purge was kind of dumb. Kind of took me out of it a little bit. Fun fact: the new Namor, he's in that. Let's see what else. Oh, another thing that I can't stand about the Belko Experiment, and I've seen it. It not only glorifies just like mass shootings and stuff like that, in my opinion, and just tons of gore, but like it's that like CGI gore that I just can't stand. Like, if it's not practical, then I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like the CGI stuff. I like CGI. I don't like it for gore. Mr. Harrigan's Phone with Jaden Martell, who played Billy in It. Halloween Ends. Yeah, I didn't love Halloween Ends. The Purge, the first Purge movie, the first one, rated 64th. Black Christmas was terrible. That was rated 65th. Halloween Kills was 67th. They, Them, I heard was awful too. That was 70th. So the worst film in Blumhouse history came out in 2019 called The Gallows Act 2. And it got a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. 0. The Darkness got a 3%. Ouija got a 5%. Fantasy Island. Hey, I liked Fantasy Island. I liked Fantasy Island, man. 8%. I saw that in theaters. I liked it. I don't know. Firestarter, I heard, is like the worst movie ever. Which is a bummer because I like Zac Efron. And I like Red Foreman. And Kurtwood Smith is in it. So that's a bummer there. But yeah, I heard Firestarter is just absolutely terrible. Area 51 was bad. Prey. That's not the Prey that we know. Yeah. Okay. That's not the Predator prequel. Prey just did not do well. Sinister 2 got a 14% on Rotten Tomatoes. That is insane. Wow. You know, Edwin, that might be a good thing. Oh, what? The Lazarus Effect got a 15%. I loved that movie. I saw that in theaters. I really enjoyed that. Donald Glover, Mark Duplass, Olivia Wilde, Evan Peters. I like that movie. Why are they hating? Yeah. Horror movies are winning. The Visitor, I did not like at all with Finn Jones. I like Finn Jones. I did not like it. The Visitor. And Truth or Dare, I watched that and that like annoyed me. I don't know. I didn't really like it. Basically, the ending was so bad and I don't know. But the fact that like, where's Sinister on this list? Oh man, Dark Skies. I remember that movie in 2013. Dark Skies was messed up, man. The alien scene at the end. I'm trying to find Sinister, which I believe is one of the best horror movies ever created. Okay, it was 34th. 63%, 62% audience. Yeah, I don't know. I think horror's a mixed bag because I think a lot of people, you know, like if it's gory, then they think it's a bad movie. I've noticed like Happy Death Day only getting 71% to me. Like, I don't know. I think you're missing the whole point of it. To take the Groundhog Day, you know, idea. If you guys have ever seen the movie Groundhog Day, it's a great movie. It's iconic. Take that idea, make it a horror film, sign me up. It was a smart idea, and that is what Happy Death Day is. Although The Black Phone got an 88% audience score and an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah. And Ethan Hawke was fantastic in that movie. I'm just surprised. Megan's number 2 on this list. All right. I'll have to check it out. So, whoever made this list is apparently a huge Allison Williams fan, because the two movies that are 1 and 2 both star Allison Williams. So, I don't know. That is so true. I think the Rams beat Seattle, to answer your question. But yeah, I do think horror has its own audience for sure. No doubt about it. Sinister movies still haunt me. I mean, it's not a movie you forget, man. It's not a movie you forget. It's not one of those movies like, all right, I saw it. It's no. You remember, man, the tapes and everything. Mr. Boogie, Bagul. Yeah, it's hard to forget something like that. Maybe at least for me. Incantation, huh? It's interesting. By the way, those fickle people we were talking about, 4 people unsubscribed since we went live. This is what I'm talking about, man. It's like there's certain people, man, if you don't only talk about football or you don't only talk about the Rams, they'll unsubscribe from you. I mean, it's lame, but I keep seeing it. It's why that goal of getting to 20,000, it's getting more difficult every day because we just keep losing subscribers because people don't like us to spread our wings and be different and talk about horror movies. Man, it happens, man. It happens. They do. I agree. Thank you, Drew. Appreciate you. Yeah, I mean that's how I feel, you know. And again, if I mouth off about that, I say whatever I say. It's not you, because if it was directed at you, then you wouldn't be in here. It's directed at the people that aren't in here, that are never in my live streams, that don't watch my videos, that just unsubscribe, that probably will never even see the video, you know? And I mean, I'm tired of it. It gets kind of annoying. Like, you know, you get a bunch of views on you doing stuff that maybe you don't want to do. And it's not that I don't want to cover the Rams, but I do it all the time. I'm always talking football and I love it, but I like to get a feel of what you guys want to talk about. And sorry, but most of these Q&As are about other things. I'll answer football. I'm not afraid to do that, but like when I get, you know, questions about horror movies, you got me. I'm hooked. You know, so oh yeah. Who could forget that? Yeah, no, I feel that. What are some super scary horror movies I'm trying to have that stick with me? Are you asking for recommendations, Exotic? Is that what you're asking for? All right. Yeah, I rarely have movies that freak me the hell out, but I'll tell you right now, first one, Evil Dead Rise. That was just that was a lot. So 1, Evil Dead Rise. 2, Sinister. And Sinister 2. The videotapes, I mean the snuff films, if you will, they're brutal and they're horrifying, and Beghoul's horrifying, and it should be up there. So they're kind of a package there when you have, and these aren't in order, but these are just ones that I'm thinking of. Smile. Did anyone see Smile? Smile's horrifying. Smile really makes it so you have to watch that sitcom. Maybe it's that 70s show. Maybe it's whatever. After you finish Smile, if you watch it late at night. Bingo. Smile is horrifying. And there's a deeper meaning. There's a huge message in Smile, which I actually really appreciate. I think it has a lot to do with mental illness. And just, you know, I think it speaks volume about trauma and how we deal with it. But it takes a really wicked turn. And it is one of the craziest movies I've seen. So I definitely would say Smile is in there. What else would scare you? Man. I mean, not for me because I love him, but Pennywise in the new It movies definitely would freak some people out. I might do that. I might. My problem is if it's like, you know, Dead by Daylight, then I'm going to probably get annoyed by it because I just don't like super linear games. Like if I'm playing horror games, you know, I don't like those. All right, put this guy on the hook. And it got really old really fast for me. So if it's more free roam where I can be Leatherface and run around and like, sign me up. That sounds like fun. Or if I could be one of those, one of the teenagers trying to get away from Leatherface, that would be fun. See, I don't like movie games. What I think that should be done is exactly what we've seen with Star Wars and we've seen with Spider-Man. So Star Wars came out with this upcoming, what I believe is going to be a trilogy. This game, they come out with not First Order. They come out with Fallen Order, and then they come out with Jedi Survivor. It's about, there are other characters involved and whatnot, but the main character is Cal Kestis, who is voiced over and mocapped and played by Cameron Monaghan, and he's phenomenal. And we find out that this isn't just a reimagining. This is literally canon to the story. He could show up in live action. I'd like to see more of that. That's the first thing. The second thing I'd like to see more of is the way Spider-Man was done. So Marvel Spider-Man, if you haven't been paying attention, it's like a reimagined, all right, taking a little bit of the movie aspect, taking some things that we like from the comics and putting it all together. You got Mr. Negative, you got Vulture, you got Electro and all sorts of guys, right? And so, with that, it's an original story. And I feel like if I was going to make a movie about Halloween, I would want an original story, and I would want it to be like, if you guys ever played Alien Isolation, how you have to kind of go around, the spaceship, I forget the name of it, and you have to avoid those xenomorphs, the alien. That was fun to me. Like, make it a horror movie, original game where, you kind of have to, there's some sneaking involved. Make it a little bit like Resident Evil. Make it a little bit like Alien Isolation. And just give me a chance where Michael Myers is stalking me and I basically have to hide and I have to run and I have to go through and it's a whole story and everything. I would be so down for that. I'd be down for that with Freddy Krueger, with Jason Voorhees. I feel like they've never gotten horror games correct in regards to the iconic horror movie villains. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Evil Dead, that's more like Dead by Daylight, where it's more if you notice, every marquee slasher horror IP, when they put it into a game format, it's always a multiplayer game. I mean, it's always a multiplayer game. I'll be honest with you guys. I like single player. I liked multiplayer when I was in school and I had time. Now I just like single player. And if you didn't notice, I mean, I play on easier difficulties because I don't have time to, I need to beat it on super hard. No, I don't have time for that. And now we're starting to notice a pattern because if you didn't know, the numbers came out for Jedi Survivor, and more than ever, people lower the difficulty level because people are getting smart about their time. They don't want to sit there and die a bunch of times in the video game. They want to just play the story. They want to embrace it. They want to enjoy it. And so we're seeing more and more of that, in regards to that. But yeah, I think that it would be really cool. You like reaction time, butterfly effect horror games. Yeah, see, that would be cool. The original story, that would be cool. Yeah, Barbarian made a lot of money. There are things I liked about it and things I didn't. That's exactly how it plays. 3 killers, 4 survivors. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if I'll get it or not. But yeah, I really kind of like how I was saying, I want that format to be the format. Like Alien Isolation did exactly how I want it to be done. You have your main villain in the xenomorph. You make enough noise, that thing is going to kill you in 2 seconds, right? You can't run. You can't hide sometimes. But then when you get away from the xenomorph, there's also a moment in time where you're dealing with the androids. And the androids are horrifying. Again, if you've never played Alien Isolation, you don't know what I'm talking about. But, you know, pro tip, it's a good game. Yeah, that's a little surprising. Disney releasing that movie. Probably because they don't have the full rights to it yet. I know they still don't have the full rights to X-Men, so. Prey was great. I really enjoyed Prey. Really cool. It was like on a rope. She had the rope tomahawk. That was so cool, man. I loved that. That scene where the predator picks up the bear and the blood's just dripping down and the predator is cloaked. So all of a sudden you see the blood dripping down on the cloak. It's like crazy. But yeah, really enjoyed that movie. I liked Hellraiser, the remake. I actually really liked the reboot, if you will, of Hellraiser. Really enjoyed that. But yeah. Hope you guys have had some fun tonight with this. What am I up to tomorrow? I don't know. I'll probably record some content. I don't know, maybe go live at some point, maybe game. Not sure. I am waiting for a full moon though, because like I said, I've been playing Pokemon Go and I'm trying to evolve this Ursaring for those of you who play. But I have to wait until there's a full moon to evolve it. And I've been waiting for weeks. And there's a full moon I don't know if it'll go in the game. Ah, there it is. Perfect. There we go. You can't even see it, but yeah, it's evolving. I've been waiting for that full moon for a while. Yeah, it's got what? Ursaluna. This thing. 2924 CP. 3 stars. For those of you who don't know, probably don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but it's all good. If you were to pick any movie to remake, what would it be? That is a great question. What the hell would I remake? Movie remake. Since Beverly Hills Cop is already being somewhat remade, I guess I'll refrain from saying that. Man, this is tough. There's been so many remakes. That's the problem. What's up, Kareem? Yeah, this is a tough one. What movie would I remake if I could pick any? This is a great question. Oh, man. You might have stumped me on this. It's funny. I was thinking Predator. They remade Predator. I was thinking Alien. They remade Alien. Oh, man. This is tough. Any movie. American Psycho. And I would cast Spencer Charnas, the lead singer of my second favorite band, Ice Nine Kills, who has played the role of Patrick Bateman in a music video. I would cast him as Patrick Bateman. So I will say American Psycho. If we got a remake of American Psycho and forgot about the existence of American Psycho 2 forever, I'd be good with that. Took me a while. Yeah, so Candyman remake was absolutely, like, that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, but I agree with you. There were too many scenes that were just kind of like killed off screen. It kind of takes out the scariness factor of it, the impact of it. And so, yeah, I agree with that. Definitely agree with that. I have never played Gears of War. I had an Xbox for a little bit, and I had that game on Game Pass. I just never bothered to play it, I guess. And then I ended up selling my Xbox. So now I don't have an Xbox, and yeah. So unfortunately, no, I never played Gears of War. Universal is doing live action remake of How to Train Your Dragon. Thanks, Disney, for giving that idea. Or a bad movie that was just awful to remake, I would say. I mean, I'll say this. I don't know why the hell we're remaking Speed. Speed does not need to be remade. We don't need a remake of Speed. Like, or a sequel. I heard, like, there's going to be a sequel. Why the hell are we getting a sequel of Speed? Speed is a classic one-off movie. It's fine to have one-off movies. Jumper was a one-off movie. I love Jumper. Did we need another Jumper? No. I wouldn't have minded one. But yes, there's such a thing as one-off movies. It's just like, if you guys haven't seen Love and Death with Elizabeth Olsen, I thought she did a fantastic job. Tom Pelphrey was great. And that was like a one-off miniseries. There's no reason to extend that series. That is the end of it. We don't need another season. And we're not going to get one. It's a miniseries. It's done. That's what we like. But we don't need another Speed. Yes, Paul. How's it going? I'm watching right now. Okay, glove save, it looks like. Yeah, they're tied 2-2 in the third. I've had this on the whole time. Ooh, this is a hard-fought game on both sides. Good teams. Yeah, Paul, so I saw the Flash preview a few times. I think the Flash is going to kick ass. I think, and I understand there's a lot going on with the main character. I totally forgot his name. He's got a lot going on mentally, and he got into some trouble. But if he can work it out, I think the Flash is going to kick ass. I really do. I think that's going to be a fun movie. I cannot wait to see that. I can't wait to see, what is it? Oppenheimer. I can't wait to get into, I had a tweet about this. Someone quote tweet a series that you want to get into, but you haven't had time to get into. Or maybe I tweeted that. I don't remember. But anyway, the series I want to get into that I haven't had time to get into is 100% going to be Mission Impossible. I've seen Dead Reckoning trailers. I've seen the trailer for the last two. They look so crisp. They look like so much fun. Tom Cruise looks like a blast. Like, I want to get into that. But I can't go and see Dead Reckoning if I only saw the first one and don't remember the first one. So I do want to catch up on that series. And maybe it's overrated, but I definitely want to catch up on it. Definitely want to, see all of them before I judge. Yeah. And the Flash 2 is already confirmed that the three main characters are going to be in the Flash 2. So I don't know. That's crazy. I don't know if it'll be the best superhero movie yet to date, because here's the thing. The two best superhero movies that I've ever seen, three actually, we'll make it a top three. One DC, two Marvel. We got Infinity War. No Way Home is my all-time favorite movie. Spider-Man No Way Home. And The Dark Knight was my all-time favorite movie. So it would be No Way Home, The Dark Knight, and Infinity War. See, the best thing about Infinity War is once they finished the saga, once Endgame came out, it goes back to what I was saying earlier, once that happened, okay, then it made everything better. It was a completed story. You can really get into it. And so that's what happened for me. Jake, you need a championship banner behind you when the Knights win. I agree. Hopefully they win. That's what it sounds like. Hey, P-Train, I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm glad you're out of the hospital. And I'm happy to see you in here. Appreciate you supporting the channel. I don't think so. I don't, the only one I would think is Troy Hill at this point. So. The Intuit Dome. I don't know what that is, unfortunately. Drew, thank you for becoming a gold member. Appreciate you. Ah, I got you. Okay. Please stop showing that Golden Knights fan. He's really annoying me. I appreciate that, man. I'm glad I could make some sort of difference. I'm just trying to get back to where I have the consistency, just constantly putting out live streams and content. It's the hope. Jake, where would the SpiderVerse films rank in your all-time superhero movies list? Oh, man. Wow. I haven't really had time to go through and painstaking detail and make one, but I might have to. Kareem, I might make a superhero movies list. Yeah, damn. That is going to be difficult. I'm going to get so much hate. I might make a video on it if anyone's interested. Yes. They are, Paul, I can confirm they are making a new Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland. Spider-Man 4. It's also going to have Zendaya as Michelle Jones Watson. I want to pitch something to you guys because this is coming from a Spider-Man fan. Let's be honest here. I got the Spider-Man mask in the background. It is Spider-Man season because we got a movie coming out. A movie came out. And we got a game coming out. I have a weird feeling that Michelle Jones Watson, the reason she's Michelle Jones is because it gives them the opportunity. She is a variant of Mary Jane Watson, in Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire's world. And that does not mean she has to follow a certain path. And so what I am pitching right now is that I believe that MJ, the reason she's in Spider-Man 4 is because I think she is going to end up being a hero. And I know it sounds crazy, but think about how big Zendaya is. You can't just keep having her in those movies because eventually you miss out. Remember Kirsten Dunst? She didn't want to be a part of Spider-Man 4 and it blew up. Yeah, she didn't want to be a part of Spider-Man 4 because she was just going to be Mary Jane. She wasn't going to have a serious role. Well, I believe Zendaya is. I think Zendaya, we've seen like different races for different characters. They changed, Namor. Like they cast somebody that didn't look like the stereotypical Namor It is a new world. And so what I will say right now, I'm calling it. We will go back. I will clip this. If I'm right, I will post it. Michelle Jones Watson, Zendaya of Spider-Man, is going to be the next Black Cat. Everybody keeps saying Peter needs to have a little bit of a break from MJ. He needs to go and find himself. He needs to go and he needs to explore with Black Cat. They need a Black Cat. They need a love triangle. Well, here's what's going to end up happening. Black Cat is going to be MJ. I think that's what we've been seeing. I think she's shown it in the past. She's smart. She's smarter than MJ. Let's be honest here. She's smarter than Mary Jane Watson in the Tobey Maguire movies. If you really think about it, Michelle Jones Watson, while she appears to be really like hard on the surface and she's kind of cold, she's a good person and she cares. And at the end of the day, her arc, when it comes to an end, to a degree, in No Way Home, she cares about Peter. She cares about other people but herself. She's not selfish. She's actually like a genuine person. She's just a little dark. She's just a little she keeps to herself. Mary Jane isn't that great of a person. If you haven't gone back and watched the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, do it. Because as a young kid, you're like, oh, Mary Jane, the girl next door, she's so nice. Michelle Jones is better than Mary Jane. Mary Jane is the most selfish damsel in distress in the entire comic book series. All of the yes, White Cloud goal. Let's go. 3-2 Vegas. So what I'm saying, anyway, going back to that, Mary Jane is like, oh, well, Harry this, Harry that. Bro, she literally is trying to screw over Peter Parker. In the Raimi films, MJ is not a good person. She is not the girl next door that you think. She is not the girl that you want. She only looks out for herself. She is selfish. Go get him, Tiger, until the next movie when I'm just going to bail on you because you missed my production because I still can't get over the fact that you're Spider-Man. So, you know what? I think Michelle Jones, who hasn't shown any of that, right? She hasn't. She's already seen. She knows that he's Spider-Man. She hasn't seen anything where, there's been nothing out there where she gets all envious and mean and whatnot. Dude, her life is turned upside down and she still has a smile on her face at that job that she's working at. That's how we see her last. So I think what's going to happen is that she is going to end up becoming Black Cat. And people are going to have an issue with it because, oh, she doesn't look the part. I don't care. Here's the problem, okay? Comic books are adaptations. We've never had a live action Black Cat. So if you're gonna complain because Zendaya's skin color doesn't go with what the Black Cat looks like in a comic book, I don't know what to tell you, but that is incredibly tone deaf. So I think that's what's gonna happen. I think Zendaya is going to end up playing Black Cat. I think Michelle Jones is Black Cat. Michelle Jones has not been announced before. She is a variant of Mary Jane. Mary Jane's a variant of her. And so that's what I think is going to happen. And I think what we're going to see is Flash Thompson, who we're all suspecting there's something weird going on with Flash Thompson, right? What's going on with his parents, so forth. I think Flash Thompson is going to be the good guy. He's going to end up becoming Agent Venom because you had, what's his face? You had, I totally am blanking on his name right now. I don't know why. He played Bane. He also played Venom. Tom Hardy. There we go. So Tom Hardy, his Venom, leaves just a smidge of symbiote behind when he gets teleported at the end of No Way Home. I believe that's going to be somebody, but I believe it's going to become Flash Thompson, who turns into Agent Venom, who fights crime. He's a good guy. So that's what I think. I think it's going to be Agent Venom. Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Michelle Jones Watson, and not Felicia Hardy, because I don't believe, and we've seen this. There's no Harry Osborn in this world. You know, there's no Harry Osborn. So why do we act like it's so crazy? Like, oh, Michelle Jones becoming, you know, so there's no Harry Osborn, and I've not heard of Felicia Hardy. Maybe she's out there, but I haven't seen her. So this is what I'm saying. Spider-Man. And he's going to probably go through it. Tom Holland Spider-Man at one point or another will probably have the symbiote and will probably tear him to shreds and put him on the brink. And then he'll go to Flash. And Flash will be good. And that will be the big twist. It'll be the irony. Flash was the jerk. But when he got the power, he became good. Ned Leeds, though, I think is going to be the Hobgoblin. I think Ned Leeds is going to end up being the bad guy. Because I think at the end of the day, this plot device that has been handed to them with the forgetting, the mind forgetting and all that, I think Peter, when that whole spell happened, I don't know why, but I can't help but think Doctor Strange put something in there for Peter to be able to connect to MJ and get her memory back. It's not a broken spell. It's not a canonical error. I think that was put in there for a reason. When the time is right, they will be reunited. She will remember. Something is going to click. But I think that's going to happen after her and Ned start becoming a little bit of a thing. And then she's going to go with Peter. And then Ned's going to get pissed off and he's going to become the Hobgoblin. And I don't know if it's a Wilson Fisk thing where he's got the money. He gives the money to Ned. He gives him a suit and all of that. And I don't know if Daredevil's involved, but that's what I think. I think Flash Thompson's going to be good. He's going to be Agent Venom. I think Peter's obviously going to be good, but, you know, he's going to have his moments. And I think Zendaya, who no one wants to talk about, like everyone just complains, oh, Zendaya's in Spider-Man 4, way to completely destroy, the ending of No Way Home. No, maybe you're not getting it. Maybe the fact is that Zendaya is setting up to be a character in the MCU. Think about it. She is an A-list actress right now. So why would she want to be a part of the MCU if she's not going to get a promotion? Right? I mean, shout out to, I totally forgot her name, but she did a really nice job as Miss Marvel. But like, this girl didn't have any jobs beforehand. She won an audition over Zoom, and now she's Miss Marvel. She had her own show, and she's going to be in a movie. She's going to be like, one of the top stars in that movie. And Zendaya's sitting there like, yeah, I've been in I've been not Harry Potter. I've been in Spider-Man, but like, when do I get my big break? And so there's going to come a point where, this world is going to get really dark, and there's going to be Avengers movies, right? She wasn't in the Avengers movies, if you remember. So this gives her a chance. Black Cat gets to fight on Battleworld and all that, and she gets her promotion and everything. I think that's what we're doing. I think that's where we're headed. I think Black Cat is actually Michelle Jones. I think everyone's so focused on who's going to play Felicia Hardy. Everyone's so focused on the fact that Anya Taylor-Joy is rumored to be Felicia Hardy that they keep thinking that Anya Taylor-Joy is going to be Felicia Hardy in the MCU, but in reality, it's probably going to be in the Sony universe, which, again, it's weird. It doesn't make a ton of sense from Sony's perspective, but it also does because the MCU does such a great job with Spider-Man that at the end of the day, Tom Holland is in the MCU. He's the MCU Spider-Man. So Felicia Hardy can exist, but I don't think one exists in this world, and I don't think Harry Osborn exists in this world. I don't think the Osborns exist in this world, period. I don't think so. So that's my thing. I think if you've been paying attention to everything they're trying to tell you about these anomalies, these variants, you know, we try to connect the dots, but there's no dots to connect. Here's what we do know, though. We know that Miles Morales exists in the MCU, but we don't know about Felicia Hardy. We don't know about Harry Osborn, and we don't know about Norman Osborn. We know about Ned Leeds. We don't know about Miles's friend Genki. We don't know about Gwen Stacy. So in the MCU, we haven't heard about Gwen Stacy. We haven't heard about Felicia Hardy, the Osborns. We don't know. So, I mean, do you think Black Cat's just going to come out of nowhere? Or is Zendaya about to get a serious upgrade? And to me, I think that's what's happening. Call me crazy. We can go back to this, but I will be posting this clip if I'm right. And I do think, to a degree, I think I am right. Now, the question is it going to be this, this upcoming movie, whenever this upcoming means? Is it 2024 or 2025? I don't know. But is it going to be Spider-Man 4 or is it going to be down the road? And at this point, I don't think it really matters. I think just the point is that at some point, I think Zendaya is more than just a damsel in distress. I think she's actually going to become the Black Cat. So I'm curious. Drop in the comments section right now whether you agree with that, whether you like it, whether you don't. Do you see it happening? Let me know. Yeah, we haven't seen Eddie Brock either. No, you're right. We haven't seen Cletus Cassidy. I mean, I don't know. You like it, Paul? You like that, Paul? Yeah, it's something I've been thinking about because I don't know, man. Jaco, make a film or some. You cooking? Appreciate that, Exotic. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so fascinated by this this whole thing with Spider-Man because I think they have a chance to really, kill this thing, I know there are a lot of people that are like iffy on the MCU right now, but one thing's for sure is that the worst movie they put out for Spider-Man in the MCU was the first one. It was Homecoming. And Homecoming was a really good start. But I think they've, upped the ante slowly but surely, still remembering they went with a younger Spider-Man. He's still a kid. And they're like building him up so that you go from, Homecoming, which is okay. There's a little bit of dark to it. But then it gets pretty dark with Far From Home. Then it gets really dark with No Way Home. So I don't know. I mean, personally, I'd love to see MJ as Black Cat. I'd love to see, some Defenders in there. I'd like to see Daredevil. I'd like to see Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. I think that would be really cool to have the Defenders team up with Spider-Man. Maybe even, Cloak and Dagger. I think that would be cool. The Punisher, Wolverine, Deadpool. These are like allies of, maybe Johnny Storm. Maybe that's where he first shows up, the Fantastic Four. There are a lot of different ways that this can go. What I will say is that the best course of action is they've already gone cosmic early on in Spider-Man's, appearance in the MCU. If they were to go more like kind of like the portrayal in the Batman of the Riddler, he was dark as hell, man. Like, that dude was ruthless. If they could go with Hammerhead and make it like a somewhat psychological horror, I think Hammerhead would kill it. I think Hammerhead would be the perfect one. And if you guys have seen Tulsa King, I think the guy who plays Chicky in Tulsa King would be the perfect Hammerhead. So that's what I'm saying. I like it to a degree. I think it's a little weird, but I do like it. Yeah, I think it'd be pretty good. I don't know too much about Johnny Storm is the thing, the guy that's going to play Johnny Storm, but I'm okay with it. Oh man, I thought they might have had something there. 7.5 minutes left. Vegas up 3-2. Don't blow this. Madam Web. I know there's a Madam Web movie coming out, and Peter Parker's supposedly going to be a baby in that, so we'll see what happens. I'd like to someday. If I had enough money, like I would like to be able to do that. Maybe sell a story to somebody, to like a studio. It'd be cool. I had horror movie ideas before. I definitely have some that haven't quite, been made, so. I'm just very, very fascinated to see this whole thing with Michelle Jones and to see if she's going to end up being what I think she's going to be. Because, I mean, she's got the personality for the Black Cat, she's like the thing that I think is important to realize, and I think they do a nice job in Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse putting out there, is that things change. Like the stories kind of almost shuffle themselves when you go into different universes and you have these different variants. It's not, there's not a template. There is to a degree, but like you have different characters. I'm not spoiling anything for the recent movie, but for those of you who saw it, you know what I mean. Like it's not as simple as that. So, I think definitely going to be interesting. Mark Stone. Yes. 4-2 Vegas. Also that like redhead, like she's not a redhead. So they already changed the look of MJ, so to speak. Like, why can't they change the look of Black Cat? All right, I'm done talking about it, but you get my point. Personally, I don't like the Justice League. I feel like DC has something going, and then as soon as they're like, let's get the Justice League going, it just backfires. Exactly. And everything that I'm hearing is that it's Zendaya and Tom Holland, and no one has mentioned anything about Jacob. I forget his name, but the guy who plays Ned. So I think Ned is going to be in it. Maybe he won't be in this upcoming one, but he'll be in one in the future. But I think he's going to be a bad guy. I definitely think he's going to be bad. No, I'm looking forward to this whole thing, man. Like I wish 4 was coming out this year, because those are what they've done with this movie series has been incredible. I am going to miss John Watts, but I think it's smart because Watts had that first trilogy, which was like he's still in school. So now it's the post high school trilogy where he's growing up. And then the next trilogy, I think, will be a different actor or a different, director. So I guess they reviewed the goal and it stands. So I don't know why it wouldn't have stand. But anyway, I thought Blue Beetle looked cool. I was skeptical because I'm like, why are you coming out with a Blue Beetle movie? But no, I thought it looked cool. Yeah, Secret Invasion comes out at the end of the year. I'm very much looking forward to that, to say the least. Let's see. When Secret Invasion is the 21st? Yep, June 21st. Amelia Clark, Samuel Jackson, Kobe Smulders, Ben Mendelsohn. Yeah, it's got Martin Freeman. It's got a pretty big cast. Don Cheadle's going to be in it, of course. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, like Dermot Mulroney, he's going to be in it. He's good. Yeah, this is a really good cast. No idea. I actually didn't see Gladiator 1. I only saw a few clips of it. Yeah, Blue Beetle, I think it comes out this year. August 18th. Yep, comes out this year. And The Flash comes out next week? No, 2 weeks from now. So 13 days from now, The Flash comes out. I'm looking forward to that. And Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom comes out in December. And I guess Shazam came out in March, and I had no idea. George Lopez is in Blue Beetle. Zolo Mariduena, I don't know who that is. The only person I know on this cast is George Lopez. I don't know anybody in Blue Beetle, but it looks good. Yeah, I know what people are saying about Ezra Miller, but I have a feeling that The Flash is going to be really good, which is going to be funny when it's like, oh, the big movie that made it big for DC was The Flash. Like, of all movies, you wouldn't expect The Flash, but Nicolas Cage is building it. Michael Shannon, Sasha Cali, she was a soap opera daytime Emmy Award winner, I believe. Ben Affleck, Michael Keaton, Ezra Miller. They say Henry Cavill's in it, but that can't be right. Tamora Morrison, Gal Gadot, Nicolas Cage, Jason Momoa. Are we sure he's in it too? I mean, Jeremy Irons as Alfred Pennyworth. I get what you're saying. I wouldn't use the term woke necessarily, but I think there are movies that do push messages more than entertain, I think. And, I think that's just unfortunately the time period we're living in, is that everyone has to have a take on everything and there has to be views on everything. And I think just even in just the entertainment industry, it's like, man, we're trying to escape that. You go to a concert to escape that, and then the people at the concert are telling you about the BS that you're trying to forget about for 2 hours. That's something. So, no, I get it. I think there is some BS out there, but I don't think it's as bad as led on for some things. I think other things, that's to be expected. But, I will say, and I'm not trying to offend anybody in this regard, but I do notice some male hate rhetoric in some of some of the shows lately, some of the movies. I have noticed that, and it's not even about race. It's just men, like hating men, and that's people ask me like, why didn't you like? People that haven't seen it, of course, ask me, why didn't you like She-Hulk? Well, the reason I didn't like She-Hulk is because I thought it was just constantly, man, I felt guilty being a dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, first off, I didn't think it was a good TV show, and it was the only Marvel project I really just couldn't stomach. Not to mention they also basically made a mockery of one of the best characters and actor combinations in the business in Charlie Cox's Daredevil. But She-Hulk was just like, man, men suck. And I remember specifically, you have Bruce Banner, who's gone through just a lot of trauma in this story, and losing that, and basically having to kind of uproot his life a little bit because of the whole gamma radiation and becoming the Hulk. He doesn't live a normal life, so he's been through a lot of trauma. He lost Tony Stark, his best friend, and so he's going through all that. And I just noticed that like Jennifer Walters just wasn't an appealing character. I actually like Tatiana Maslany, but Jennifer Walters was not an appealing character because she was so just tone deaf to what, like, bro, you didn't even matter. You didn't even exist in this story, in this world. And you're telling me the trauma that Bruce Banner Hulk goes through, losing his best friend, losing his crush, essentially, losing the first girl before, he was recast in the first, Hulk movie. I know she's going to come back, but he hasn't been with her. So it's like you lose all these people and you go through living through a time after the snap, and Jennifer Walters has the gall to say that there's nothing more dangerous than being a woman, and being preyed on by men or whatever. And like she says that to Bruce Banner, who's going through the ringer. So I don't know. For me, it just felt like it wasn't part of the MCU, and not in a good way. I think the Eternals, it gets a lot of hate, and I am one of those people that's kind of like, that could have been a lot better. But I think the big thing with the Eternals is that the reason for it being hated on, it has nothing to do with the fact that it runs differently. It runs outside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It doesn't feel like it's a Marvel movie. That's actually a good thing, because it's kind of creating its own story, and that's how it should be. But when you're looking at She-Hulk, for different reasons, it just doesn't feel like an MCU project. It feels like they hired somebody that wanted to, take a stand against men and, push this rhetoric and this BS and have twerking, and it just really did not sit well with me. And when they brought in Charlie Cox, first thing I thought is, oh, this is really cool. Daredevil's here and he's in the MCU. That's freaking cool. And then my second thing was, they just made him have a one-night stand with She-Hulk, and they just made a mockery of him doing the walk of shame while holding his boots. I was like, they have completely ruined his character, and that was how we got introduced to him in the MCU. And for those of you who haven't seen it, Daredevil on Netflix, not on Netflix anymore, on Disney Plus, but it was on Netflix. That series was gritty. It was raw. It was emotional. It was intense. It was bloody. It was gory. It was dark. I mean, it was such a great TV series. And, Charlie Cox did an incredible job of portraying, Daredevil and, Matt Murdock's character in general. And then he goes on She-Hulk, which, let's be honest here, they basically push that he's going to be in the first episode. And he's not in the first episode, and we find out that really he was just a marketing ploy because no one else in their right mind would have thought, oh yeah, She-Hulk's going to be really good. Now, stupidly, I thought it was going to be decent. And, I think there's this rhetoric out there that if you don't like, She-Hulk, then you probably don't like Miss Marvel. This is not an anti-woman thing. I liked Miss Marvel. I did. It was a little, little for children, but I liked it. So it wasn't that. Miss Marvel also didn't have like a narrative. It didn't push an anti-male narrative, and it didn't try to ruin a superstar character in the series in Daredevil. Miss Marvel tried to create something that didn't exist, and She-Hulk tried to piggyback off the things that already existed and made them worse. I mean, why do you think it is that Miss Marvel doesn't bring anybody into the show until the very end when, what's her face? Captain Marvel shows up to go into that movie. Miss Marvel was its own thing, which I appreciated about it, right? That was the cool thing. But, the problem, it was so overhated. It was actually a good show. And I can't stand, that's when people started saying, oh, yeah, Marvel's super woke. How is it woke? Just because it was exploring a different character, different ethnicity, different background? That's not woke. That's the character. They already created the character. In my opinion, Miss Marvel was a good project because it was its own thing. It created its own thing. The directors, the writers, it was its own thing. And at the end of the day, again, She-Hulk, what's the first episode? It basically piggybacks off of Bruce Banner's Hulk. It has Wong in it, right? It has Daredevil in it. The people that created She-Hulk, they knew, game over, Vegas wins 5-2. They knew when they created She-Hulk that it was not going to be able to withstand itself on its own, and that is why it added this character and this character and this character. Because Miss Marvel didn't do that. You know who else didn't do that? And I love that they didn't do that. Take a guess. Moon Knight. Moon Knight didn't have any characters that we knew previously in the MCU. Moon Knight was its own thing. And I thought it kicked ass. I liked Moon Knight a lot. Falcon Winter Soldier, okay, had some cameos, but for the most part, carried itself on its own. WandaVision, yeah, there was a cameo here and there, but Jimmy Woo isn't, people aren't tuning into WandaVision to see Jimmy Woo. People aren't tuning into WandaVision to see Darcy. So those cameos weren't bad. Okay, the Evan Peters thing, yeah, that was a little bit of a cameo that people were tuning into. But still, people were tuning into WandaVision so they could see Darcy. And so that's how I see it. These projects like Loki was just, it just worked. You know what was great about Loki? There was no narratives. And I don't think there's many narratives in general. If there are, then it's not as in your face. She-Hulk, it was a straight up man-hating narrative. I mean, I'm not against feminism. I'm kind of against the whole, all men are evil. And that's kind of what She-Hulk was. I don't know. Ironically, She-Hulk was the one womanizing on the dating app, if you remember. That's the irony of that. Yeah, the problem with the WandaVision ending is COVID. They couldn't finish. They really couldn't finish how they wanted to because of COVID. So there were certain parts in that finale that they couldn't even film. So they had to use CGI. They had to, recycle. Shout out to Vegas, by the way. Up 1-0 in the Stanley Cup final. Love what I saw from them tonight. And I was watching while I was talking. That's a big win, a statement win. I understand it was at home, but 5-2. This Florida team has been red hot. So to get up early, 1-0 at home, protect that home ice, I'm liking it. Let's keep it up. But yeah, Vegas wins 5-2. Love to see that. Good war films like Braveheart, We Were Soldiers, Hacksaw Ridge have almost all disappeared. Seems that way, hasn't it? Yeah, so Wonder Woman 1984 was interesting. There were some things I liked about it, and then, like you said, there were some things that are like, what? And it's honestly, it's weird. It feels so disconnected because the first Wonder Woman was so awesome. I loved it. I couldn't believe how much I loved it. I'd never really cared too much about Wonder Woman as a character, but I loved that movie. And then the second one was kind of like, eh. No idea. I like Michael Waldron personally, but, you know. Moon Knight was fun. The way Moon Knight got more intense, out of character at the end was insane. I absolutely loved the way they ended Moon Knight. That was fun, man. I really like that. I will say, what the hell was it called? Oh man, why can I not like the horror? Not, I mean, it was kind of a horror movie, right? It was like a special, Halloween special. God, why can't I not? Werewolf by Night. Loved that. Really loved that. Really enjoyed that. I've watched it like 5 times. It's great. So nicely done. Yeah, Secret Invasion is coming actually in 18 days. Secret Invasion is in 18 days. I can't wait for Secret Invasion looks like next level. Another one I'm looking forward to is What If. What If season 2 I think is going to slap. It's going to be more of the modern movies. So it's going to what if those movies. This whole multiversal saga, I hope they continue it. I think they have a chance to really not milk it, but get the most out of it. There's a lot of things that they can do creatively. And then at the end of the day, once they want to finish this, man, they can decide like this is who we want in the MCU, and they can recast based on how the multiversal war turns out. So when they do the whole Battle World thing in Secret Wars, they could be like, you know what, Tom Holland, it's been a ride. You know, it's been a lot of fun. We're going to move on to Miles Morales, so we're going to kill you off in this. And that would be totally fine. I mean, I'd have an issue with it, I guess, to an extent, but if that's the direction they went in, they can go that way because of Battle World. So, you know. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I really like the Indiana Jones series, and yeah, I definitely want to see 5. I feel like it's kind of weird because Shia LaBeouf just all of a sudden doesn't exist in that. So I don't know. Oh man, so obnoxious. I don't know if there's anything more annoying than sneezing on the air, but it's very annoying. I've never sneezed while I was recording. But yeah, incredibly frustrating. John Connor variant. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Kareem. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Miles Morales getting introduced in the MCU. I'm a big fan of his character, and you know, I actually, this Spider-Man thing, like this project, I don't know when it's going to come out. I'm hoping it's early as September because I think that's the earliest it can come out. But I am so stoked for that game, man. The idea that you can switch from Miles Morales to Peter Parker on a dime, that's really cool. I'm definitely going to play that on this channel. Like, I'm going to go hard playing that on this channel. So I think the Rams win 10, 11 games this year. That's where I'm at. Yeah, Insomniac is just so, you know. I'm trying to find when it comes out. Like, see maybe if there was anything that like leaked. It just says 2023. Fall 2023. I'm with you there. I like PlayStation more than Sony. Spider-Man 2 story will go darker with Peter's biggest challenge yet. No. It looks, so this says November 20th, 2023. I can't wait till November. This needs to come out in September. That's cool. The wings. I'm actually looking forward to the traversal thing that they added. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, probably not. I've never really been into it. Same here. I definitely don't want the Nuggets to win, but I know I answered that question earlier saying that they're probably going to win. Yeah, guys, it's been another successful stream. We went live for over 2 hours, so a lot of fun there. I think let's see, the title. What should be the title of this live stream? So Saturday Night Q&A, I don't know. Horror movies and Spider-Man dialogue. Bingo. All right. Well, hey, appreciate you guys. I still need to figure out. I'll probably end up watching a movie. I know I should probably go live again, probably do like, you know, the gaming and whatnot, but I'm kind of tired. And it's not even like I'll probably end up being up for another 3 hours, but it's like I'm like getting screen tired, like looking at the screen and, you know, just talking and whatnot. So I don't think I'll be doing a live gaming stream after this because I've been live for 2 hours. But normally what I'll do is if I do a live gaming stream, I'll like keep it like 1 hour for this and then do 1 hour for that. So, you know, that was fun, guys. I appreciate it. I know not a lot of us, you know, tuned in tonight, and I get it. Again, dead period, not talking about only Rams, so it wipes out a lot of people, but hopefully we can get to the point where, you know, you're tuning in and it's a fun show, and, you know, I'm just a down-to-earth dude that just wants to talk topics, right? So appreciate you guys being that group that tuned in and everything. And yeah, you know, I'll touch base with you guys soon. And that's going to do it. Appreciate you guys once again. And I think I'm going to go and watch Megan or Infinity Pool. I haven't decided yet, but you guys take care. Again, I'll see you guys real soon. Later, folks. Do you need some energy to get through the day without relying on coffee? I got just the thing for you. It's called Neuro, and I'm partnering up with them for today's video. Neuro has gum and mints to energize, calm, and focus when you need it. They were developed by former athletes who were training at the highest level and simply didn't want to take any mysterious supplements or energy drinks when studying, training, or even going out. Instead of something sugary and ineffective, they wanted to create clean and balanced energy that could be taken anytime and anywhere. Their energy and focus formula is specially formulated with natural caffeine, theanine, and B vitamins to sustain the mental endurance necessary to maintain your focus. Their calm and clarity formula is expertly developed with GABA, vitamin D3, and L-theanine to optimize composure and clarity of mind. Their health and vitality formula is specially infused with life-enhancing, immune-boosting vitamins to help strengthen and support your body. What makes Neuro different? Neuro's gone through dozens of formulations, process, and tests to ensure that each gum and mint they make delivers on their promise of getting you in the right state at the right time. Unlike other heat-extruded gum and mints, Neuro's products are created using cold compression technology, which maintains each ingredient's bioavailability. Neuro is a clean boost of energy without the jitters of coffee or an energy drink. With so many challenges and demands, it can be really hard to stay focused, and Neuro does a great job of keeping you calm, cool, and collected. Stress, fatigue, lack of focus can all impact decision-making abilities. Recently, I had been feeling sluggish and have been distracted with everything going on in my life. These Neuro mints, however, have allowed me to stay on task and have stayed calm, cool, collected, as well as alert, and I've been able to change my approach and focus on the task at hand. Go to my sponsor link now down below, tryneurogum.com/JKB to enjoy energy, calm, and focus whenever you need it.